Watch the whole video to find all the hidden anime girls. I wish my child didn't exist. I've always been on the fence about having children. I was leaning more towards no than yes, but I guess a part of me thought it might be nice when I wasn't sleep deprived and cleaning fecal matter. I was dating my girlfriend at the time for almost 2 years, and we had never talked about kids or marriage. She told me she was on the pill, and so I stupidly took her word for it and ceased my use of condoms. I found out the hard way that she wasn't consistent with taking her birth control. I still remember that moment very vividly. It was Christmas Eve, and she had this huge smile on her face as she handed me a small skinny box to open as an early gift. Inside that box was a positive pregnancy test. My heart dropped, but she looked extremely happy. We ended up having a huge fight because I obviously brought up her birth control, only for her to tell me that she was bad at taking it and that I was a terrible boyfriend for not sharing her excitement. I wanted to leave her right then and there, but I didn't. She was miserable for me to be around during her pregnancy. She was happy and smiley to everyone except for me. It was like she was a completely different person from the girl I had been dating for the past nearly 2 years. She was entitled and refused to be held accountable for her antics because of the baby. She would wake me up 2 hours before I had to go to work to get her whatever the duck she was craving that week. If I said no, she would take it to my mother or her sister and I would be berated over the phone or in person that same week. I tried to take it all in stride though. I tried to kill her with kindness, but it was never good enough. I hoped she would go back to normal after giving birth. Of course there was a part of me that wondered if I should just abandon ship and pay child support, but I couldn't. My own father did that, and I know it made my childhood very difficult. Plus my own mother would probably never forgive me. So I stuck around and tried to put on my brave face, even if my girlfriend never thought it was good enough. I wish I could say things got better when the baby came, but it didn't. We were constantly at each other's throats due to the sleep deprivation and I hated my new life. There was nothing I could find redeeming about being a parent. My life savings were going down the drain. I had to give up all my non-child friendly hobbies. I always felt dirty because of the constant diaper changing, spit up incidents, mushy food showing up in random places, etc etc. If this weren't anonymous I would say some bullshit about how it's all worth it, because nothing compares to the love I feel for my child, but that's not really true either. I love my child, but it's purely out of duty. None of it is worth it. Oh, and my girlfriend? She's constantly complaining about motherhood, yet can't shut up on social media about how amazing parenthood is, and how it's made her a better person. I can assure you, she has changed for the worse. It's been 5 years, and I'm a shell of the person I once was. My entire life has been filled up with children's birthday parties, screaming, tantrums for stupid reasons, working, begging a tiny human to please eat their food, having my family go on and on about how wonderful parenthood is, while my girlfriend gives me shit for not proposing to her, yet while hinting she wants another baby. Joke's on her, I have a vasectomy appointment coming up. What no one knows is how suicidal I am. I'm happy for my kid, and I do the best I can to shield them from all of this, but I wish I wasn't alive. I'm a terrible person, and I never should have been a father. This should be obvious, but for the love of God do not have kids if you don't 100,000% want them. And if you're one of those people who pressures people into having kids, stop that shit. Leave them alone, they're better off. Edit, just want to clarify that my girlfriend's behavior does not represent all women. I don't even have proof that she has trapped me, but even if she did, it has nothing to do with the rest of the female population. I love women, and I support women. Hell, a part of me still loves my girlfriend and I wholeheartedly support her and my child. I'm not trying to play the victim, so if this post came off like that I apologize. I just really don't want this to turn into a woman hating fest. I'm just critical about the idea of parenthood being for everyone. My story proves it isn't. Edit 2. I stepped away from this post with the intention of just tossing it into the void and going on with my life, but here I am. I want to thank everyone for trying to help me in my situation. I've read every single comment, and I understand how this post came off as me throwing a pity party. But I don't regret it, because I feel this is a not so uncommon side of parenthood that most people refuse to address. Many will be happy to know I will be separating from my girlfriend. I've talked to my mom about it and she's pretty pissed. I don't have many people in my corner about this decision, but I feel like I have no choice but to make it. I have no intention of withdrawing from my kid's life because even though parenthood isn't for me, I'm still a parent. No, taking that back. Something else I want to address is that I've gotten a few messages saying that I'm a deadbeat father. If I were a deadbeat dad, I don't think I would be as depressed as I'm now. I put everything I have into being there for my child, even if it drains me. I will look into therapy, but I'm not my own biggest priority at the moment. I wanted my story to remind people that having kids isn't a good decision for everyone, and that romanticizing it and throwing the negative aspects of it into the shadows does no one favors. I'm trying the best I can, and I will continue to, but I needed to tell anyone how I feel on the inside. Peace. I love the crusty eye budgers. I didn't know what pink eye was when I first got it. Apparently a kid at school had been sent home the day before with it, but I already caught it from him. The next day I woke up unable to open my eyes, so I ripped them open. It felt amazing. All the sheer pleasure of peeling off a scab without actual pain, or scarring or bleeding. I want to just scrunch and crush an eyelid full of eye crusts and blink and rub out the remaining dust. I love the feeling of digging eye crusts out of the corner of my eyes and feeling it scrape against my skin. It's not an orgasmic feeling, just very satisfying and cleansing. I wish I'd catch pink eye again. Not so I can call off work and play video games, but so that I can scrape junk out of my eyes. I found out my girlfriend shits in the shower. What do I do? Don't really know to get into this, but I'll start by laying out a few details. So I've been dating this girl for about 4 months now, and she is amazing. Up until I found out about this, like seriously amazing. Both fallen hard for each other. I've met her family and she's met my limited family and it's been going great. She stays over a couple of times a week and I love her company, and I'm very much in love with her. So finding out about this hit me quite hard, and I've felt really weird since. I don't want to get into too much detail because it's overall a pretty busy situation, but basically at the start of the week she was at my place and we were chilling and caught up with the latest episode of The Mandalorian, great TV show BTW, and she goes off to take a shower, which is normal after a day of work. So I'm chilling laying in my room browsing Reddit and catching up with shit, and I need to take a piss. I go to the bathroom and walk into a room where I'm engulfed in the smell of shit, and also it's steamy as hell in there. I'm taken aback clearly and trying to make sense of it because the toilet lid is down, but the smell is so strong. So I ask my girlfriend if she's okay. She says she's great and she's nearly done, she's just trying to get rid of this. At this point I'm horrified, and as I approach the shower curtain, it's the black curtain, so I can't see shit. I kinda realize what she's done, and I pull back the curtain, and she faces me to smile at me, and I look down, and there's about half a shit clogging up the drain and she's clearly been trying to stomp it down. I had a lot of emotions running through my head all at once. Horror, disgust, and surprisement, mainly at her reaction of me walking in on her trying to waffle stomp her shit down the ducking drain, and I couldn't get my head around how cool and collected she was. I basically just said WTF are you doing? And TBH her reply was more of surprise at my reaction of seeing what she was doing, as in she didn't see the big deal about it and didn't get why I was so horrified. It was ducking weird. I left the bathroom obviously, and we had a talk about it, and she thought it was a normal thing to do. She needed a shit and just went for it. Apparently she was raised in a household where that was a normal thing to do, and I just couldn't comprehend it. After a while talking she reassured me she didn't do it all the time, but just whenever she needed a shit while in the shower. I tried explaining that this was definitely not normal or a cool thing to do whatsoever, and she kinda flipped it back on me as if I was shaming her and got upset. Like I said, I love this girl, but this has properly rocked me and I don't know what to do. Sorry for poor grammar and formatting and how long this post is, but I had to get this off my chest as I don't feel like telling anyone else and embarrassing her further. I spoke with an old friend and I think we were drugged by nuns as kids. I got back in touch with an old friend and had him over for Thanksgiving. We used to be inseparable. We knew each other our whole lives, but we grew apart. We both grew up Catholic, but have since left the church. While reminiscing about the past, I brought up the time we went on a retreat to a community of nuns during our confirmation. We remembered how we had to receive communion, but only the kids being confirmed. They wouldn't let any of the adults participate. After receiving communion, we joined a prayer circle and we were told to speak in tongues. I distinctively remember feeling my heart beating dangerously, so much so I could feel it in my head, and a nun told me it was the Holy Spirit. A girl near me fainted and a couple kids said they felt sick. After the prayer circle broke apart, we were told to explore the garden. My friend and I remember how everyone was laughing and how strange everything felt. We were told this was God and that there was no way anyone would ever convince us that God's love was not real. After our retreat, some of the kids in our group got really sick, and we started joking that we all got high. But what really bothers me about this experience is that every adult in my life and in the church seemed to get angry or ignore our questions. Having tried other drugs through high school and college, I've seen similar reactions from people. Fainting, sickness, strong emotions, etc. Is the Catholic Church known to do this? Has anything like this ever happened to anyone else? I don't believe the religion my parents birthed me into, and I'm acting like I do for their sake. First time poster, bear with me. Ever since I was a baby, my parents taught me and read me Bible stories. By the time I was 10 I got baptized, and by the time I was 15, I realized I don't believe in Christianity. I don't want to tell my parents about this for 2 reasons. Reason 1, they wouldn't stop making me go to church and they would try to change my mind using all the wrong tactics. I don't want to have to deal with the on my back about my walk with Christ more than I do already. Reason 2, both of my parents would get very upset and call themselves a failure for raising me wrong, and they would say they failed at raising me into Christ. I just wanted to get this off my chest. I don't know what to do about it. Comment what the best or worst story was. Also remember to subscribe for more Reddit and Anime Girls.